It began the way so many viral moments do: ordinary, unpolished, and almost forgettable. A shaky camera, a trembling hand, and the dim light of a bedroom that had clearly seen better days. At first, no one knew what they were looking at. The screen flickered, the picture blurred in and out as the person behind it adjusted the phone. And then, finally, the image steadied. It was Malaysia. Her face was a portrait of exhaustion, her eyes swollen shut from endless tears, her hair tangled and falling in messy strands across her shoulders, her lips trembling as if each breath was a battle. She didn't look like the influencer millions followed online. She didn't look polished, styled, or staged. She looked raw, fragile, human. And in that moment, you could feel the weight of something heavy pressing down on her. She took a shaky breath, her hand rising to wipe her face as if that simple gesture could erase the pain written across it. Her audience was already growing by the second. Thousands had joined within the first minute, and the comments were flooding in faster than she could read them. Some people were confused, some were worried. Others, less kind, speculated cruelly about what had happened. But none of them were ready for what Malaysia was about to say. With a voice so soft it was almost a whisper, she looked directly into the lens and said the words that would ignite one of the most explosive digital scandals of the year. "I'm pregnant, and the baby belongs to Doug Christie." The silence after those words was deafening. For half a beat, the internet seemed to freeze. Then the comments exploded in every direction at once, the screen a blur of disbelief, outrage, and shock. "Wait, what?" One wrote. "Jackie's husband?" Typed another. "She's lying, right? No way." Somebody tagged Jackie now. In less than 60 seconds, Malaysia's Instagram Live had ballooned into the hundreds of thousands of viewers, with more pouring in by the second. Within minutes, Twitter hashtags began trending. Screenshots and screen recordings flew across TikTok and group chats. And what had begun as a shaky, almost private confession became a cultural wildfire consuming every corner of the internet. To understand the impact, you have to understand who these people were to each other. Malaysia and Jackie Christie weren't just co-stars or acquaintances. They'd had spent years building a friendship that looked unbreakable. Jackie had welcomed Malaysia into her home, into her family, into her life. They had shared dinners, holidays, secrets. Malaysia was more than a friend, she was like a daughter. Jackie had even used that word to describe her on countless occasions. Their bond was the kind that fans admired, the kind that looked unshakable from the outside. But now, in real time, that bond was being burned to the ground. Because Doug Christie wasn't just any man, he was Jackie's husband. And if Malaysia was telling the truth, the trust Jackie had placed in both of them had been shattered in the cruelest way possible. While Malaysia cried into the camera, telling her audience that she had tried to stay silent, that she had tried to protect everyone involved, but could no longer bear the weight of lies, Jackie was across town, completely unaware that her life was about to be turned upside down. She was in her dressing room, fresh off a glamorous shoot, her team still buzzing around her, when her assistant burst in, eyes wide with panic. "Jackie, you need to see this right now," she said, shoving a phone into her hands. Jackie frowned, confused, and clicked on Instagram Live. What she saw made her world collapse in on itself. On the screen, Malaysia stood crying, clutching her stomach, confessing that she was pregnant by Doug. Jackie's hands began to shake. Her heart raced so fast she felt like she couldn't breathe. The phone slipped through her fingers, hitting the floor with a thud, as if the truth it carried was too heavy to hold. She staggered backward, her breath coming in ragged gasps, whispering, "No, no, this can't be real." Her legs gave out, and she collapsed into her vanity chair, tears streaming down her face. And in her panic, fumbling for air, for answers, for anything that could undo what she had just heard, her phone accidentally went live. Now the internet wasn't just watching Malaysia, they were watching Jackie too. Two women, two lives, two truths, unraveling side by side in real time. It was a digital spectacle, the likes of which no one had ever seen before. Viewers were stunned. "Oh my God, Jackie's live now." Both of them at the same time. "This is insane. We're watching history." Jackie, her face streaked with tears, stared into the camera with eyes wide and wild, her voice shaking as she spoke. "She lied to me," she said. "That girl sat at my dinner table. She called me mom. And now she's saying she's having Doug's baby." Her voice cracked. Her chest heaved with sobs. And then, with a kind of heartbreak that cut straight to the bone, she whispered, "Malaysia, you stabbed me in the heart. And Doug, you destroyed our family." The internet erupted once again. Viewers split instantly into camps. Some defended Malaysia, saying she was brave for speaking her truth and refusing to be silenced. Others rushed to Jackie's side, furious at the betrayal and heartbreak she was enduring in front of millions. And Doug, well, Doug's name was being dragged through the mud, his reputation obliterated in real time. The comments scrolled so fast they blurred together. Doug cheated again. Jackie deserves better. Malaysia has receipts. It wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was a public trial, and the court of public opinion was vicious. While the internet devoured every frame of the unfolding chaos, Doug Christie was at a private gym, completely unaware. He was mid-rep, focused, when his phone began buzzing uncontrollably. At first, he ignored it, but soon the vibration became impossible to overlook. He set the weights down, grabbed his phone, and saw the endless notifications. Missed calls, texts, tags, mentions. His stomach dropped. He stepped outside into the cool air and unlocked his screen. What he saw made his blood run cold. Malaysia naming him as the father of her unborn child. Jackie sobbing, screaming, collapsing on camera. His name plastered across every corner of social media. His entire world crumbling in real time. He whispered, almost to himself, she said what? But deep down, he already knew. He didn't need confirmation. The truth was undeniable. Malaysia's voice echoed through his speakers. That night wasn't just a mistake. It was a moment of weakness for both of us. But I didn't do this alone. Doug was there. Doug knew. And then Jackie's broken voice cut in from the other live. He told me he was going on a retreat to clear his head. That man went to her hotel instead. Doug's trainer stepped outside, concern etched across his face. Yo, man, you good? But Doug couldn't even answer properly. His eyes were glassy, his hands trembling as he stared at the glowing screen. He shook his head, his voice hollow. I don't know if I'll ever be good again. Within hours, the scandal had become inescapable. News outlets scrambled to report it. YouTube filled with reaction videos. TikTok creators slowed down clips, analyzed body language, and spun theories about what had really happened. Memes spread across Twitter like wildfire. Every frame of both lives was scrutinized, replayed, dissected. It wasn't just a story anymore. It was an event. Doug, once respected, had become a villain. Jackie was recast as the betrayed wife, strong but broken. And Malaysia became polarizing, hated by some as a backstabber, celebrated by others as a woman brave enough to tell her truth despite the fallout. The world picked sides, and once the internet decides, there's no undoing it. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was bigger. It was the collapse of an image, the unraveling of carefully constructed lies, laid bare for millions to watch in real time. It was raw, unfiltered, impossible to escape. One woman stood in front of a camera and exposed the truth she could no longer hide. Another woman broke under the crushing weight of betrayal she never saw coming. And one man stood frozen, unable to outrun the tidal wave of consequences bearing down on him. The internet witnessed something it could never unsee. Lives shattered. Friendships destroyed. Reputations obliterated. And all of it played out not behind closed doors, but in front of millions. This wasn't just a scandal. This was a digital execution. Because in the end, this story wasn't just about Malaysia or Jackie or Doug. It was about us, the audience, watching, judging, picking sides. And once the internet chooses, there is no going back.